Good afternoon, and thank you very much. It indeed is an honor to be present here. Frankly speaking, this is the first time attending this conference, and I'm truly impressed with the crowd, with the arrangements, with the quality of topics being covered, and the enthusiasm of the people. I'm supposed to be talking about preparing Indian hospitals for occupational health and safety. Basically, I feel this being a congregation of accredited hospitals, there's enough awareness, enough knowledge about occupational health and safety, and yet we have some gaps and challenges. So I'll try and give my interpretation of why it is so. So, of course, as we know that each occupation comes with its own risks and they pose dangers to the workers, and they are called the occupational hazards. That's what we are talking about. And we talk about the total or comprehensive health, which means physical, social, as well as mental. As far as India is concerned, we have 500 million workers in India, and only less than 10% are covered by health and safety legislation. And if you see these numbers of the fatalities and injuries and disease load that the occupation is causing, it's actually mind-boggling. We contribute almost 17% of the total load that the world has. Hospitals are one of the most hazardous places to work at. And even by US standards, 6.8 work-related injuries and illnesses for every 100 full-time employees is the number quoted. And this is twice the total rate of such injuries or illnesses across the private industry as a whole. The hazards that we often mention, and we all are aware, are physical, chemical, biological hazards, ergonomic hazards, and psychosocial hazards. These are all pretty well known. Physical injuries, the latest entry in this physical injuries bit is the violence that we see these days across hospitals, the growing violence against hospital staff, doctors. This is the latest entrant. Otherwise, of course, we knew about radiation, electrical hazards, falls, injuries, noise and temperatures, extreme temperatures, fires, etc. The chemical hazards are acids and solvents and flammable materials, vapors, fumes. The challenges out of ergonomic issues are mostly related to the musculoskeletal injuries, posture, strain, weight that the people have to lift, poor lighting, poor facilities at work, posture related, and so on. And biological hazards, of course, we are all aware. Psychological factors are no less important: fatigue, anxiety, tension, depression. And all of these have consequences on the health and performance of the employees. Operation theater, I'm not mentioning this because I am an anesthesiologist, but operation theater, the 400 square feet of the area, actually truly represents what goes across the hospital as a whole. You will see everything here that you see elsewhere in the hospital. The operation theaters are densely pegged with hazards. They have all kinds of problems within the operating room. And once again, these are the same challenges: physical, chemical, psychosocial, ergonomic challenges, biological challenges. And the new entrant, as far as the OT is concerned, are, I won't say new entrant, but rather spatial entrants in the operating room are burns, which not only happen to the patients, but sometimes can also happen to individuals, the staff which is working there. The chemicals, these cause particularly the cleaning chemicals. They can cause injuries to the eyes. The employees can inhale, and they can have long-term consequences on the health of individuals. Psychosocial is a specific issue related to substance abuse, because the narcotics are available in the operating rooms, and there have been several instances of substances abuse in the operating room. Ergonomic challenges, as I mentioned, these are mainly related to musculoskeletal injuries, like frequent lifting of patients on and off the operating table. And one particular example that I would like to mention, which is often not given due attention, are the shoes. They play a very important role in the operating room, but unfortunately very, very rarely bothered about, except if an individual himself or herself thinks about it. People have to stand and work in the operating room for hours together, and if they don't have a proper shoes for them, obviously that leads to musculoskeletal problems and long-term consequences of the same. Similarly, biological challenges are there in terms of the spills, the cuts, and so on that the people are exposed to in the operating rooms. The cost of neglected occupational hazards to workforce, these are pretty well known, but I'll just enumerate them once again. These are lost man hours, absenteeism, loss of productivity, cost of treatment goes up, demotivated workforce. This is a very important aspect. If the occupational health and safety is not taken into consideration, we will have a demotivated workforce. And then there are claims, compensations, outcomes will be poor, which again would give rise to loss of revenue. We will have dissatisfied patients, again loss of revenue. Our reputation may be dented, again loss of revenue. And of course, it has a moral imperative. Now, having just briefly mentioned the hazards that we have, what are the challenges that we in India are facing? Huge country, developing economy, literacy rates being only 75%. What we notice here is that we have illiterate, uneducated. And this I call hope, because you can educate them, you can teach them. Illiterate, educated, once again, they are strength because they go by their common sense. They may be illiterate, but they are actually educated and they can really contribute. The third, unfortunately, is the minority, and these are the literate, educated people. I wish we had more of these. And the biggest challenge is literate and yet uneducated. They are the real burden on whatever we try to do. The challenges in India, as far as safety is concerned, forget about occupational safety and challenges that we are talking about. At individual levels also, we all notice this, that we wear seat belts or helmets, not because we care about our own safety, but because the cops want us to do that. And one of the pictures that you see here of the cops, well, they're part of our society anyway. And when it comes to hospital setting, you know who the cops are. Wrong side driving, the foot overbridge meant for pedestrians, being for driving vehicles. We are perpetually in a hurry. We are never seem to be starting from home on time. We don't have to wait. We don't have time to wait even for these railway crossings for the barriers to open to go across. We will find ways to jump across, risking our own lives. That's the way we are. And the recent incident that all of you must have heard, people just forgot that train tracks are for trains. Either the people forgot, and then we ultimately said whether the leaders forgot to mention to them, whatever be the reason, but the fact is we lost precious life because we don't ourselves seem to care about our own safety. That's probably our culture, or whatever you want to call it. The current focus as far as the government regulations are concerned is mainly on mining, manufacturing, ports, and construction. Health is nowhere near this. Health sector is nowhere near this. But having said that, these four industries that we see where some regulations are existing already, Have they actually prevented occupational health hazards and have introduced safety? That is something for us to ponder and question. What do we need to do if we really want to prepare our hospitals for occupational safety and health? We need to create awareness. We need to have a vision, and that vision is to see safety and health of our workforce. We need to have willingness, as is just whether it is just good to have our employees as healthy and safe, or is it our commitment that we must have it. It would need financial budgeting, manpower, and not just manpower, empowering that manpower to deliver their duties. It will need investment, and the leaders will have to lead from front, which is what our challenge is. So there is enough awareness. We have 600 plus hospitals who have gone for NABH, and 34 hospitals are JCI, and there are enough references in these accreditation councils about safety and health of the employees. This is what the this is what the hospitals need to do. They need to have management leadership, employee participation, work site analysis, hazard prevention and control, safety and health training, and annual evaluation. We need to prioritize. We need to have actually overall institutional commitment to quality. If we have overall institutional commitment to quality, the safety and occupational will automatically fall in line. We need to ensure the integration of the quality requirements into the organization's business processes, as was earlier mentioned by Dr. Lulla. Assessment, information, lead and lag, provide resources, assign accountability, and senior management needs to be involved and participate, not just authorize people and tell them that this is your duty. You actually need to lead from front and participate in the process. And we need to have actually regular monitoring of that. These are some of the measures we all know that what we need to do when it comes to introducing health and safety for our employees. So basically, there are three things that we need to do. The leadership has to be loud and clear that there is no compromise on safety. We have to create awareness, we have to show commitment, and we have to prioritize. So the single most important factor, in my opinion, actually is the initiative that leadership needs to take. The assessment basically needs to be done. We need to identify what the hazards are. We need to know the source of those hazards. We need to remove those hazards. We need to record and documentation for our learning and for future actions, and this would need continued education and training. And finally, the action is, we need to ensure safe layout and design in the hospital, safe environment, proper equipment, calibration, safe cleaning and sterilization, waste management, ensure efficient management overall. All these things will ensure that we have a safe workplace for individuals. The challenge is that we often say that medicine is a noble profession, but a damn bad business. And that probably we say because when we talk about business, we come down to cost cutting and find ways as to how do we ignore what is essential. I hope and wish that we could see medicine turn into a noble business also, because it being a special occupation, it earns us respect, gratitude, and unparalleled sense of satisfaction besides earning our livelihood. Thank you.